Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the November 13th meeting of the Board of Sewer Commissioners. I'd like to call the meeting to order with a roll call.
Scott Sobey.
Carrie Pastor.
Sandy Slavin.
Jim Gibberti. We have a quorum. Citizens petition, there is no one. We have minutes from the October 23rd meeting.
I have reviewed the minutes of October 23rd and find them to be complete and accurate, and make a motion we approve them as presented.
I will second the motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4-0-0. Scott, do you have any update for us on the EDUs?
No, unless you want to discuss it. What I had done in April and March. I am working on it, but I don't have anything for you today.
Okay. Still in progress, though. Still right up there.
Yeah, I would just remind people that I submitted a proposal on March 13th, 2025, with an introduction and then some draft recommendations. I only have one copy, but I can resend it. But if you look back at your emails or on or about March 13th, you'll see my draft recommendations for changes in the EDU assignment. And that's where I am right now. I still need to build a model from actual flow data, and I don't have the flow data yet, so that's coming.
Not a problem. Could I request you send that to me again? 'Cause
Sure.
I'm sure I can't find it, because I've lost a couple of other things in my
Okay,
mess now.
March when?
13th. I also had I put a graph together showing the number of EDUs versus the number of bedrooms, and it showed an inverse curve, like a J curve, that indicates that the people with the fewest bedrooms essentially pay more than the people with a lot of bedrooms for the same, for sewer service. And so one of my recommendations is going to be to flatten out that curve so that people who have 1, 2, or 3 bedrooms aren't heavily subsidizing people with 6, 7, 8, 9 bedrooms.
Where are you getting the bedroom information from?
In the master spreadsheet that Bob gave us
And he got that from the assessors?
from the assessor's office.
We have to be very cautious. I'm researching a property being expanded for conservation in which the assessor says it's 2 bedrooms. Board of Health says it's 4. Board of Health says we should not be using the assessor's information.
This would,
So
what
that
I've been-
is scary. I mean,
yeah.
there's a big difference between 2 and 4, you know?
It's an ADU.
It's a 100% difference.
Yes.
So, but,
They're not on sewer, they're getting their own septic system.
yeah, so for a general principle, though, I would say we could set it up without actually knowing how many bedrooms, and that would be
Okay.
up to Scott to inspect every house in Wareham to see if the number of bedrooms is correct.
I'll start kicking into us tomorrow.
Or we could, it would, better with the water flow.
As we're going forward,
Yeah.
though, I agree with the water flow, but as we're going forward, we've already addressed that particular issue in the charging. We've established an EDU is a 3-bedroom going forward. So that particular issue that exists currently will not perpetuate itself.
I don't know how we define the number of bedrooms if the data we have.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm not talking
okay.
about the data we have or what we are at this point. I said going
Yeah.
forward.
As we find it, report, yeah.
No, as we go forward, whether somebody's hooking up new
Oh,
or building a new home
okay,
or
yep.
any of that, it's all covered.
In case anyone is interested, bedroom is defined in 310 CMR 15.002.
Has to have a closet. Sorry.
Well, according to that, my daughter's house is a zero-bedroom house, so she doesn't have any closets.
But there is a law that says what is a bedroom.
Yeah, 310
If it has a closet, it's a bedroom.
310 CMR, what was that? And actually, you all have this because it was in a draft flow-neutral bylaw for sewer service areas that was given us as a draft, as a kind of a model for us to look at. And I'm not sure which one this is. Article 7, flow-neutral bylaw for sewer service areas. And about halfway down, it says determination of wastewater flow in sewer service areas, and then in that paragraph, it says bedroom is defined in 310 CMR 15.002. So, in case you're wondering, there it is.
Okay,
You're welcome.
thank you.
Okay. Carrie, anything on the priorities list?
No, not really, but an update, that I look at this as two parts. One is the financial side to it, and I think, we should wait till we have our meeting with Derek
Yeah,
on
that's
that,
what I
so we
was-
have a good understanding of terminology, et cetera, et cetera. And then, last time, we had a whole list of scorecard or task issues that we wanted to address, and I think that we need to gather up sometime and figure out which ones we really want to prioritize.
And
There's many, many of them.
I have a list that Jimmy just gave me. I will incorporate it, then I will start getting rid of the duplicates.
Okay.
Triplicates, quadruples.
That's fine.
Exactly.
Of all of us, we have the same
Yeah.
list, are showing up on the list, and
Think we
I did
take
get
it.
something from Bob.
You'll see in that what I gave you on different times that I did those,
Yeah,
there's,
some of them are no longer applicable.
right, some of them are no longer applicable, and some of them are duplicates
Yes.
going forward, because it's the same
Because
stuff.
I had Bob gave me something too, I just hadn't updated it, but I will take
Right.
this and come back with a single list of,
Yeah, there's many common denominators between all of us there.
and I'll put some identify saying ongoing. We need it for the RFP, we need it for a town meeting warrant funding, so I will be putting some note next to it.
That's it, Jim.
Okay, thank you. Buzzards Bay NEP grant update. We had a meeting, Bob, myself, Anastasia. What was that gentleman's name?
Jim,
Jim. Thank you.
should have been pretty easy to remember.
It's a hard name to remember. There's a lot of letters in it.
Does Jim have a last name for the minutes?
From Woods Hole.
Jim from Woods Hole.
Yeah, I don't know it. I don't think we ever got it.
Are we going to get an update?
I have the information that he passed out. And I was hoping Bob was gonna be here because he had, well, actually, Scott had more questions than anybody, or
Can you-
more directions for him.
Can you give us at least a
So-
high level?
Yeah, he's
So
going
at a
to.
high level, they gave us a model, and they're gonna rework it with some input that we had.
This is regarding,
The
Outflow?
outfall
Oh,
to the river
duh.
and existing conditions.
okay,
And where to go from here. So, we had some input, they're gonna go back and utilize that input. So, it's not even close to, any kind of definitive end at this point, so that would be the update. It was a rough draft, and we made edits, and they're gonna come
We
back.
made it, and we made it rougher.
So, I'm sorry, is this for the outfall plan that would go down through,
Not yet, no. This is
There's no
step
route.
one, this is step one to show basically probably why we need to do it.
so why we need to go from 1.56 in the river to some other larger number not in the river?
Correct.
Okay,
And then, multiple options along the way.
okay.
So they're gonna do some remodeling.
Jim Churchill, for the record.
Thank you.
Jim Churchill for the record.
Dr. Jim Churchill.
Dr. Jim Churchill for the record.
From Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute.
From Hui.
Thank you. I don't think we got the name. Okay. Scott, do you have something to, some brainchilds for us?
Well, the construction at the plant's going along still very well. They're putting the guts into the clarifiers, so a lot of steel work going on right now with the crane, and things are moving along very well. The building that was constructed is complete with doors on all sides, and they are pouring the ramps to get in and out of it. So we should have a usable covered building come winter, so we're getting close.
Is there a projected date for the clarifiers to be put online?
Not at this point. I do believe we will see them before next summer, though. We're waiting on pumps and certain control panels.
Is there going to be some kind of ceremony, a ribbon cutting of some sort? I'm serious.
Why?
Go ahead.
There will be.
To come to the microphone?
They just sit up there.
Sarah Greenberg from GHD, for the record. So whenever we have a new process that comes online, it's a requirement from the DEP that what's called a clear water test be conducted in the presence of a DEP inspector. So once the mechanisms are all online, and to Scott's point, that all the pumps for recycling all of the flows and bringing in the flows into those clarifiers is online, there'll be a show for the DEP to do that. So we can keep the Sewer Commission updated on when that happens.
Drums?
What?
Drums, horns?
Well, yeah, I think you should bring both.
Parade.
No, bagpipes.
Well, it's a $36 million project.
Absolutely.
I think it's worthy of some kind of recognition by, or presence of the commission, and maybe others in town hall would also be interested.
And especially when the screening system is up and online, huge, that's also another big component of the project. Seeing that work will be exciting as well.
Maybe the newspaper might be there to report on it.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sure we can find a large scissor somewhere in a ribbon, make it official.
Got a weed whacker? Thank you.
When will we have a date? As soon as you have one, right?
Yeah, as soon as, the contractor just hasn't given us exact Clearwater date, but the state requires 3 weeks notification.
Okay.
So we can provide that same notification to the Sewer Commission chair as well to distribute.
Be great, thanks.
Yeah, not a problem.
Sorry, I've just got Bob has got tied up in an appointment.
Is he going to try to join us?
That's just what I'm gonna ask. I'm asking him right now. Let's see. Okay. Old business?
At the last meeting, we had 2 items that we did not do.
Those have been signed. I think they're done, aren't they, Scott?
We never approved them. How could they be
We
signed?
approved them at that meeting.
No, we didn't. There was an extension for the CR 24117 that, for the force main, that was going to delete a line and replace it with a line for a time extension, and we asked for a list of the sentence that was being deleted, so we never voted on it. We
That's right,
tabled it
we
until
tabled
this
it.
meeting.
Okay. I believe Bob has that line. I don't have that line.
He sent it to me by email. I don't know if he sent it to anyone else by
But
email.
but we never voted on it, and it's not on the agenda, so we can't do with that force main extension. So you said it was approved, Jimmy?
Yeah, it was tabled.
Yeah, okay. That's
Then
what it
we
was.
had
That's
the
what it was. All right.
FY '25
Yep.
capital fees for Bourne was to be rescinded, and that wasn't done either, so that was
That
another
was-
one that was tabled.
I mean, that was a Scribner's error to begin with.
But we never voted on it,
Okay, we can.
because you couldn't tell us what it was,
we-
what was wrong. This was FY '20,
She billed a bill that was already paid. It was done, it was over.
but we asked, okay, we asked what it was, and we never got an answer, so we never took action on that agenda item.
Okay, so it's not on the agenda, we didn't take action on it, so we can't do anything about it now.
Can you
I
put it?
understand, I'll get on the next agenda. You could have given me a call and just reminded me.
I put an email out to everybody what was missing.
After the fact.
Well, that's what happens
After
when
the
we don't
fact.
get to see the agenda before it gets
After the
posted.
fact, when you knew about it, you could have just given a call and said, will you have it on there, or will it be there?
Oh, I
Instead
didn't
of
know
waiting-
about it until I
instead of
saw
waiting
the
till after
agenda.
You could have picked up the phone beforehand and said, remember to put this on the agenda.
I didn't know it would be forgotten.
Hey, people do have other lives.
Yes, we
Okay,
do.
unanticipated items. Scott, we have the one that you sent in.
Yeah, so I've arranged for a tour of the Mass Tech facility with Brian Horsley on Monday, December 8th at 9:30 a.m.
Where is it?
Where's this now?
It's over in Bourne. I'll have to get an actual address so we can put it into our GPS.
It's a Monday.
Monday,
What-
December 8th at 9:30 a.m. So we can meet somewhere and carpool over.
And what are we actually touring? What?
The Mass Tech facility, MASSTC.
Yeah.
What do they do?
They are, actually Scott would have a good explanation. They do a lot of experimentation with newer and emerging technologies having to do with wastewater treatment.
Yeah, so all your Title V systems that have the IA, Innovative Alternative indication towards, in front of them, where they would be, they're basically your own little package plan for a house. And they test them all there to see whether, how well they handle different flows, and they'll actually give them slug flows of too much or too little. They want to, and they really test these things to see how they work. They do a really phenomenal job. They'll even throw some nasty stuff in there to see if they handle a shock load. Actually, I used to do some experimenting there myself, so it's a really cool place, though.
It would behoove us to invite the Board of Health, the Health Department.
Health Department.
To join us on that. Should I be the one to reach out since or
Yes, please,
Or Jimmy,
since
do you
you're-
want to?
Yeah,
I'll do it if you want me
yeah, if you
to.
would,
Okay.
appreciate it.
Sarah, you're always,
Okay, that's
Welcome to
nothing
join us,
that,
too.
that requires any kind
love
of a
the Mass
vote to
TC
do
Center.
anything with. That's just,
I don't believe so.
no, okay. That's at 9 o'clock there. Well, what we could,
9:30.
9:30.
9:30. Is there a consensus on carpooling or individual driving?
Individual, for far as I'm concerned.
Okay,
Just drive down and meet someplace
okay.
at the place, right? We have an address on it?
I'll send that to you.
Okay, do you need from us a head count on who's going? Or, I don't know how you're working that.
Well, I'm going.
I will.
Inside or outside?
It's outside.
It's outside.
Oh, dress warm.
It's pretty, they actually, they strip some of the raw flow from the plant that services the base. So they have actually tapped into the influent line and they send it right.
Do we have to get on to the,
Nope, we don't have to go onto the base.
We don't have to go
Just
on Otis?
outside, just outside.
just out, sorry, do I go to the main gate?
No, you go,
You go up,
exit.
Route 151,
Yeah,
Oh, the back side, okay.
it's on the left.
so you know there's like a gas station on the right and you take a left there.
We'll get directions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their website has a good directions of how to get there.
Mass Tech,
Yep, masstc.org, masstc.org.
Sandy, you can just come to my house and we'll drive together if you want to.
Okay,
All right. We would not make a quorum, right? So,
that's right.
yeah.
And even if we had a quorum, it's an off-site, so we don't have to post an agenda.
And we never discuss business when we're together outside this room anyway.
Oh, never.
Who would?
Oh, no.
Okay.
We
Okay,
can talk about all the conservation stuff that's facing us, taking down trees and salting them and all that stuff. Okay,
what trees? Okay, our next meeting after Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. December 11th, be in this room, 3 o'clock.
I make a motion, we adjourn at 3:02.
22, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, we're gonna slip into, see Sarah was there first, I'm gonna let Sarah go first.
Got way too excited.
You look ridiculous without your beard.
I recommend we open the meeting.
I'd like to call, I'd like to call the workshop meeting to order at,
323.
thank you, 3:23. A roll call, please.
Scott Sobey.
Carrie Pastor.
Sandy Slavin.
Jim Gibberti. Okay, and we're gonna start with Sarah from GHD, who is going to promote the draft. Flow neutral.
Sounds good. Sarah Greenberg from GHD for the record. All right, so last time we spoke about the flow neutral regulations and discussed possible inclusion within the sewer regulations. And one of the questions that came up was, are there sewer regulations or is it part of the bylaws? And so we have found out that so the sewer regulations, there are sewer regulations within the bylaws, and so we do want to, though, nonetheless proceed with looking at these flow neutral regulations, seeing if the commission likes how they're written, so that we can at least push it forward to the SRF department for the state for approval, whilst the commission is working to see can it be, if they can be incorporated into the regulations. Is that fair, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, Bob and I met with Rich yesterday, and pretty much the
Sorry,
bottom.
Rich Bowen, council, for
And
the minutes.
pretty much the bottom line is, it can be a regulation. He thinks it would probably work better as a bylaw. However, if there's an issue relative to funding on doing this, it could be done as a regulation and then at a later point superseded with a bylaw.
Because if we were to make it a bylaw, it has to be approved at town meeting, and
Right,
that's not
that's the
until
point.
April.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was the point, Sandy.
So we can, right now,
Yeah.
call it a regulation, approve it as a regulation, and then move forward with a formal declaration as a bylaw.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so in your packet, you'll see you have a revised draft. It's revised from last time. So you'll have, so this is the second iteration of the sewer regulations. These update for the flow neutral bylaws, regulations, apologies. So you'll see that they are updated slightly to incorporate comments that were received from the planning department of consideration for incorporation. So I have a few.
Can you give me a
yeah.
hint at what did they, I read the old one,
Yep.
what did they change for this new one?
Yeah, of course. So one of the first questions that we haven't incorporated yet, that's before the sewer commission at the workshop, is we have insert responsible entity here in a lot of locations throughout these flow neutral regulations. And one of the discussion points or questions is, who is the responsible entity? Will it be, should we enter sewer commission Is there an interest in delegating that, any roles to to somebody else in the future? There may be, some of these tasks may be better served by regulating in the future to, I don't know, WPCF director or some other entity. And so the proposal is to include in where it says insert responsible entity here, the sewer commissioners, but verbiage can be added to say that responsibilities may be delegated to the sewer, to just maybe delegated upon vote of the sewer commission, for
'Cause
example.
I felt that not every one of these inserted place should be the sewer commissioners. I felt that our WPCF manager, whatever the title is, should be in some of them. So I was thinking we could go through the document and say right now, at what point do we put the inserted party? We all agree on, every time we see that insert responsible, we here say who it should be.
Sure. Yep. Yes. So either, that, or if you want to add verbiage that says, or that it may be, that the responsibility may be delegated to another entity upon vote of the sewer commission. Totally up to you guys. Either that way, or allowing for it to be delegated in the future.
But we're really just saying, how can we get this done as a regulation? As we do it for a bylaw, that to me is a big point, a point in which we make that distinction point by point. If we're just trying to get this approved so we can get that funding down to 0%.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, saying we need it, we want to get this done so that we have the ability to file it,
Okay,
to get in place. So,
great. So do we want to go through each responsible entity to determine?
probably be the quickest and simplest way.
Yep.
And it's done.
All right, so I'll lead us off. So the beginning obviously is the preamble. The town of Wareham, insert responsible entity here. So
Say that'd be
sewer commission.
Sewer commission.
Commissioners,
Yeah.
Sewer commissioners,
Well, I think the commission.
no, what is our title? Board of Sewer Commission.
Yes. Board of Sewer Commissioners.
BOSC.
Okay.
yep.
Then the next location is in the background section. All connections and extension permits for sanitary sewers shall be issued at the sole discretion of the Wareham blank.
I would say it would be the director.
I think so too.
Yep.
Is that his title? WPCF Director? Is that, what is your formal title?
That is it, director. That is it.
WPCF Director.
Okay.
Okay. The,
Excuse me, just before you leave
Yeah.
that paragraph. It says, in order to connect at his or her own expense. I believe that should say the owner's expense, so as to avoid gender issues. It'd be gender neutral
yep, where,
Second sentence.
Second line.
Starts,
under background,
in order to connect, thank you. Yep, we can change that.
at the owner's expense. Also, I was wondering, any owner of a house, building, or other structure used for human habitation, occupancy, employment, or recreation. I was thinking we have commercial, industrial, institutional structures, hospitals, schools, municipal buildings, fire stations, police stations. Are all of those things covered under house, building, or other structure used for human habitation, occupancy, employment, or recreation? Let's say that there's a structure that is, let's say like a library, or a structure that is only used by volunteers, maybe the Boy Scouts. So there's no habitation, there's no occupancy. If they're all volunteers, there's no employment. I guess that would be recreation.
It
I was
would be,
just-
to me, recreation.
Yeah.
If we get to be very specific and list them all, we'll find one we get missed.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if these categories are broad enough to hit everything. That's what I was asking about.
Did they do it in another city?
Yeah, this was from another city.
Yeah, I see that same words in Harwich.
Well, if it's good enough for Harwich, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, because a lot of we seeing here came out of the Harwich document we received.
Yes.
No sense in reinventing the wheel.
No.
That's right. Okay. Next one. Next sentence.
All right. Implementation of the CWMP and construction of the sewer systems are the responsibility of the,
Commissioners.
Yeah, Board of Sewer Commissioners.
BOSC.
So you'll spell that out at the beginning and then put BOSC in parentheses? Okay, thank you.
all right. Then 2 paragraphs down, the Wareham blank will use this information and recommendations included in the CWMP as a guide when considering applications for new connection and extension permits, and thereby manage the capacity within the sewer system to serve the needs of the town for the 20-year planning period.
Director?
Yep. Is the PCF director?
Maybe both, because this
Yeah.
is, it concerns the 20-year
think it
planning
should be
period.
both.
That's us.
BOSC and director.
I agree.
Then under regulation, land use controls, wastewater flow management, the Wareham blank is adopting this new sewer use regulation article to manage growth based on availability of municipal sewer service.
BOSC.
General land use controls, the sewer use regulation as adopted by the blank delineates the designated flow categories.
That would be BOSC. Unless somebody has an option.
Then under the section wastewater flow management, the blank reserves the right to reallocate flows within all flow categories.
Both of us? I'm just,
Yeah, I think it probably would make more sense to have both involved in this one.
So just hold on for a second. So going back to the previous paragraph, the sewer service areas are shown in figure 1-1 in the CWMP, and flows are shown in table 1-2. Those are to the CWMP, is that right? Because there's nothing attached here.
Sorry, that actually does need to be modified, thank you. The figure 1-1 refers to this specific regulation. So at the end of your package, you should have a figure, and it should be titled Figure 1-1 in parentheses.
There's a table 1-1.
There's a table 1-1, a table 1-2, and then a figure 1-1. So that figure that, do you have that 11 by 17 figure?
This one over here.
Correct, yes. And at the bottom, the title you'll see is Figure 1-1 in parentheses. It refers to the figure on the CWMP for cross-reference.
All right, so this is that's the figure 1-1 that's referred to here. It's referred to in that paragraph, is that right?
Correct, yes. So,
Service areas are shown in figure 1-1, but that's not true. Because this is the proposed sewering, this is not the current sewering. Or do you mean the proposed sewer service areas are?
maybe it makes more sense to say the sewer service areas as shown in the 2025 Wareham CWMP and are shown in attached Figure 1 and table. Is that
The
clear?
proposed, the proposed sewer
Yes.
service.
Again, all of this is referring to the CWMP so that anything that changes with the CWMP, so that you don't have to keep updating the regulations, you know what I mean? So yes, but we don't, but it seems like your question is with regards to the term sewer service area versus saying proposed, right?
Well, I'm thinking about the CWMP itself, and the idea that as time goes by, and as, I forget what the phraseology is, but the CWMP can be reimagined or redone as it is in process over the next 20 years.
Right.
So some of these areas may go away.
Yep.
New ones may be added. And these certainly don't exist now.
Right.
And there is a map that shows the present sewer areas. It doesn't show all the sewered areas in Wareham. It doesn't show the private ones, but it shows the public ones. So if I read this, the sewer service areas,
As proposed in the 2025 Wareham CWMP?
yeah, either the proposed sewer
Oh,
service
sewer.
areas,
Yeah,
the proposed sewer areas, the proposed sewer service areas.
Yep.
that better links it to the figure 1-1.
That's right. And let's just check table 1-2 just to make sure.
Here,
we're
I
looking
can't
for
find a table 1-2.
It's a 2-2, not a 1-2.
that. I see a table 1-1
Table
and a table
2-2.
2-2.
Sorry, so what we'll do is we'll modify the title of table 2-2 to say 1-2, apologies. So title 2-2 will be modified to say 1-2, and so refer to those for the flows that correspond to the sewer service areas that are proposed in that figure that you have in front of you.
So this is not something that's in the Harwich. The Harwich thing is a different kind of table, right? Did I remember that correctly?
Well, they talked about what areas are sewered, but I don't think Harwich has a comprehensive wastewater.
Yeah, so I'm wondering why it's broken out like this. Why table 1-2?
So most of the most of these regulations include the equivalent of Table 1-1, which is the, flow allocations over the 20-year planning period. And yes, each CWMP for different municipalities could be laying that out slightly differently. The reason 1-2 was added, it was one of the comments and discussion points that came up in the MIPA consultation session. So to add, because there was no table in the CWMP that told you what flow is associated with that sewer area.
Right.
And it only told you what nitrogen reduction was associated with that sewer area. So the comment was it would be also helpful to know the flow, especially from a, regulation standpoint, and additional sewer connections would be associated with those currently proposed sewer areas.
Okay, so is it correct that it's saying service areas are shown in figure 1-1, and the flows are shown in table 1-2?
Yep, because those flows are the flows that represent each service sub-area. So if you look at your map, right, sewer extension sub-area A1 is 110,000 gallons per day. So if you look at your figure, you'll see where A1 is, and it tells you what flow is associated with that area.
Okay, so my middle name is Pedantic. So it's customary to refer in a text to the figures and tables in order. So table 1-2 should be table 1-1, and 1-1 should be 1-2, so that you refer to them in order.
Absolutely. So if you, totally hear you, if you go up to the background, the second paragraph lists, at the end says the CWMP flows by category are summarized in attached table 1-1. So we could rearrange things if.
No, that's
Okay,
good.
okay,
That's good.
okay.
I missed that point.
No. Yeah, we skipped through those real quick.
Sarah, quick question.
Yes.
On the table 1-1
Yes.
in here, where it's got the average annual flow, is that current or is that proposed?
That's existing, correct, that's current.
Okay, so,
Yep.
so those headings to the left, existing flow, born committed, et cetera, those will adjust or change upward, the numbers, as we get increased capacity,
So,
probably.
yes, in the future, your existing flows will be greater than the .97. For the purposes of the table, of course, right, we're kind of locking us in time.
That's what I thought.
Okay, yeah. Because the, starting with population growth and down, those are the future flow components that get us to 2 million gallons per day.
Gotcha.
Perfect, yeah. It is a mix of existing and future in that table, yep.
So figure 1.1 in tables, 1.1 and 1.2,
Sorry?
tables, 1.1 and 1.2. The two tables
Yep, thank you.
are attached and made as part of the sewer use regulation article, and then insert number. We need to have a number, right?
Yeah. And we could just make it, I guess, one, I don't know how the commission proposes to do regulations. I don't believe there are any currently, so it might be the first one.
I don't think we talk about an article number because we're not there. It's part of the sewer use regulation, period.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to hint that
No,
we could
don't
have
put
an
the-
article.
Yep, that's good. So
Leave the
cross out
article out.
article and insert number.
Yeah, we'll leave that part out.
And for the record, we'll do the same up above. There's another location of it up above then,
Okay,
And at some
or
point. that
further
will be
down, maybe.
further
Thought there
down.
was- Okay, thank you.
You know,
Okay.
I don't think I could exist as Scott's student.
Oh, you'd get used to it.
I haven't yet.
You're not my student.
I'm learning.
So then wastewater flow management, insert responsible entity here was chosen to be
Both.
BOC and WPCF director, yeah, okay, good.
In that paragraph 1, let's see, Policy Act, MEPA office, as well as burden of proof, as meeting the burden of proof, is that what you meant to say there?
So I mean, part of the filing includes a burden of proof, yeah. So is it that's a good question. Is it filing a notice of project change and filing a burden of proof? But, as well as providing, we can change it to providing. That's the comment, right? So the applicant seeking to alter their flow category, they are responsible for all costs associated with that change, including burden of proof to demonstrate. So including,
So that's like a form or a regulation that has to be met or something?
so, the burden of proof would fall upon the applicant in terms of if they want to change their flow category, not only are they going to have to pay for the, cost of doing a notice of project change, but then they have to put together all the effort to, it's their burden of proof to demonstrate that there's validity to asking for that change. So they would have to pull together all of the, whether it be modeling, whether it be documentation. It could also be something to make note for the future. At this stage, the vote request is just to have it go to the state for their approval. So if there's another change that needs to be made, it could be done prior to voting these regulations in to the sewer regulations.
So it's their responsibility to file a notice of project change as well as a burden of proof document or something. Or, I'm just trying to, because when I read this, I was wondering, well, what do they mean by as well as burden of proof?
Let's say as well as the burden of proof, because then it would be an applicant seeking to alter a flow category shall be responsible for all costs associated with the change, including potential for the burden of proof.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds good. Definitive.
Okay. Anything until we get to item 3 for inserting the responsible entity? Simple majority vote, presumably of the BOC.
BOSC.
Yep, BOSC.
Just think of the pear variety.
The Bosque pear,
Ask pear.
yes.
So then reallocation of flows to an area outside existing flow category shall only be allowed under the following circumstances. Unanimous vote of the BOSC.
Yes.
Does it have to be unanimous?
I was gonna say,
Why
it was
why
my
are we
next.
doing unanimous?
Do you want it to be majority?
Majority, I would say majority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, this is if zoning changes or town funding is required. So this would be a majority vote of the BOSC and by positive vote of a convened town meeting to allow for reallocation outside of the,
Because you'd have to go to
Flow
a town
category.
meeting for a bylaw change, I mean,
Yeah.
a zoning change,
okay, for public health emergencies,
yes.
unanimous vote,
Majority.
majority of the BOSC.
Yes. Right.
All right. Then item 5, flow allocations described herein may be updated to reflect updates occurring every 5 years. So this is one of the changes that was made, I believe, per the planning department comment of, noting when these regulations might be updated. Again, as a reminder, the CWMP will have 5-year updates, so it's not a set it and
So
forget
We
it.
already had that in the CWMP.
What?
I said we already had that in the CWMP.
Correct. Yeah, the CWMP includes the adaptive management plan for every 5-year updates, yep. And so we wanted to make note of that in the regulations so that it could be clear that these regulations, the flows that we define herein, aren't necessarily staying forever. They could change to reflect the CWMP update, 5-year updates,
Which you should.
which makes it flexible, and I think that was one of the,
I would like to try to keep, I'd like to try to keep it as flexible as possible.
And who does the report?
The director or designee, so they could hire someone to do it, like, I don't know, an engineering firm?
Exactly, yeah.
The director
The
Or
dir-
designee?
or designee.
Oopsie.
So another comment and addition was discussing of, an appeals process or, what we're calling variances here. So we have a section now on variances in sewer service areas. An applicant may request reconsideration of a flow allocation or connection decision through a written appeal to the blank. So this whole section, just so everybody's aware, was to address some of the comments that came
No,
up. Okay.
I saw those comments, and
So-
it's good.
If it's an appeal, it should be a different body than whoever made a decision in the first place. So if the original decision is made by the BOSC, then the appeal should be to somebody else, like
Board of Health
or Select Board.
Department? I probably think the Board of Health. They would be more attuned to,
What would be, first, excuse me, Sandy, one second, I'm just curious, what would be the reconsideration for flow allocation? What are we talking here? Any idea?
So I'm thinking that say somebody wanted to connect and they weren't part of the service area, and so the group was just saying, nope, it's not in the plan, no. The appeal might be, well, but hey, do you have the capacity? Could you include me? My septic system is really failing, that kind of a thing. That could be one example.
Okay, if that's the type of example, or if that's the type of thing that would fall under this, then to me, it sounds like it belongs under the Board of Sewer Commissioners,
Yeah, but
not an outside entity.
I would think a first appeal would go right
Yeah.
back to the people that denied it, so to speak. And then if they're not happy with that explanation, then they have the right to go to another third party.
I agree. But I think this
Because the
type of
third
thing
party
needs
at
to
this
come
point in
here.
time wouldn't know why
to
the
the
first
board.
party denied it.
Dad,
Like an abatement.
Dad, can I go to the movies? No.
Mom, can I go?
But, yeah, but Dad, I really want to go to the movies. Oh, okay. I mean, appeals, that's why there's an appeals board, there's an appeals court, there's all kinds, because they need to have a different view.
That may be the second step.
Yeah,
Take professional organizations. When they have an appeal, they go back to the board that, the NFL, they appeal to the NFL, and then the NFL sends them on.
This was not in the first pass. Why was this added?
It was added due, for,
comment from Josh.
yeah, comment from the planning department.
Well, then they'll appeal to the planning department then. I'm just kidding.
Would reach-
And also, I mean, this, there's a lot of additional factors that need to be provided to grant, that appeal. So to your discussion of appealing to the same group, right? There could have been reasons why the board decided not to allow something. But if the applicant is able to provide this referral from the Board of Health to demonstrate things, like if they're willing to provide all these additional factors, that might allow that same board to reconsider. Is another way to look at it, just a suggestion.
Provided that information in the first place. I mean, if there is a decision made by the board, they should be given all the information. If additional information comes, then it could be a reconsideration rather than an appeal.
Yeah. Ultimately, your call.
I think going right to a third party's gonna come back to the first party, i.e. the board, and say,
Exactly.
why did you deny this? And now we have a three-way conversation going. That's my concern.
I'm not comfortable inserting this in a regulation. I think this needs a lot more discussion and should be part of a bylaw somewhere down the line. But, considering
Well,
that we're
for-
trying to get this as a regulation,
Well, if we're doing regulation, I'd put this in as BOSC at this point. Okay?
You can leave it there until a problem arises, I suppose, and then
We
change
can always
it.
change it. I mean, the board can always change it.
Right, and if you keep it the BOSC, then you still have the power to, make it as if it was, you know what I mean? Like if somebody appeals to you and you decide you need to work through this.
We deal with
abatements all the time.
abatements, appeals, whatever you want to call them, and, it's a nomenclature, it's, more word salad. So we're dealing with that now, so, I mean, this doesn't, to me, it doesn't appear to be any different. If somebody doesn't like what we say, they can always, go to the selectmen and bounce over around and, look at something else, but,
Now, do we have to give notice to abutters in the second paragraph?
I don't, well, no, I don't personally.
I don't know how,
see-
you put a public notice, who's going to see it?
I mean, why?
To me,
What does Title V say?
well, to
Does
put in
Title
the,
V talk about abutters?
well, for conservation, that abutters must be notified if a Title V is going to be installed. So I'm trying to think of a reason why this would happen as to what type of notification should be done. I just don't think this was given a lot of,
Who's gonna,
discussion.
who would be doing the notification? Is
Well,
this
that's
the-
another
the
one. Who
person
does it?
who's- The person who's, filing the
Requesting?
appeal?
well, currently, if somebody has a hearing coming before a committee, the.
Committee does it.
No.
The
The
applicant.
applicant does. So the applicant pays for the notification in the paper. The applicant gets the abutter and puts out notices to all the abutters, the green cards. It's the applicant.
Right.
As I said, I think this whole section is wishy.
Yeah, if this is going to be a rule and regulation, we can adopt the rest of it and come back to
I
this
was
and
gonna
add
say,
it later.
you know, you leave that first sentence in. Applicants may request reconsideration of a flow, allocation, or connection decision through written appeal to the BOSC.
And then
the other
drop the
thing-
rest of
End
it.
of it.
Drop the rest of it and then we
So
can-
the other thing I just want to point out is the last sentence says the blank may develop additional policies and guidelines for granting variances.
Yep, so
It could
that
say
would be
they may
the-
develop or modify the I don't know,
Yes.
just
Develop or modify,
Where was that now?
At the bottom.
Right before adopted.
just before.
All right.
may develop additional policies and guidelines, may.
So we are removing the second paragraph, number 1, 2, and 3.
Affirmative.
And leaving, yeah, the one after that
Yeah.
with the BOSC, correct?
Yes.
So we're just leaving the last sentence, apologies.
The first,
Yep.
Yep.
first and last.
Yeah, it's basically.
So that it reads, applicants may request reconsideration of flow allocation or connection decision through a written appeal to the BOSC. The BOSC may develop additional policies and guidelines for granting such variances.
Yep.
Develop or modify.
Well, there's no,
That's right.
yeah, just since there's no process, I guess I figured develop. Oh, is that okay? Okay.
Yep.
All right,
Just develop,
okay.
okay.
Next is in adopted, the BOSC.
Message hereby about the following when.
In Harwich, it's the Board of Selectmen, but maybe the Board of Selectmen are their sewer commissioners.
I would say it would be the Board of Sewer Commissioners, because we're the ones that set the moratorium, we're the ones that make that, we set the rates,
I'm good with that.
we establish the controls.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. And then it's just the tables and the figure.
Is there anything else on this document that we haven't talked about?
I don't think so, not that I'm aware of.
Can you just give us a quick method for how in table 1.2, how those flows were calculated from those sub-areas?
Converted from nitrogen reduction. So the CWMP listed the nitrogen reduction quantities by proposed sewer area, and so they were converted from nitrogen values to what that equates to in flow.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there any significance to why the sub-area A1 is A1 and A2 and all that? How was that chosen or selected? Is there any reasoning to that? Anything I'm missing in that?
That there is a reason, not a critical one, just of the order, kind of the suggested order in which they might be sewered. And so they're broken out,
Okay,
yeah. And we can confirm that, and,
that's right.
Well,
good question, yeah.
weren't the sub-area A was both public health and environmental reasons?
And that as well, correct, yes, good point, yeah. And area C is additional environmental, is what's needed for environmental needs, which of course, as I'll remind the group, area C would not be required for, if an ocean outfall is successfully pursued. So to your point of this being a proposed map, right, if, as you go down the path in the next few years, if an ocean outfall is feasible and that path is pursued, then this sewer area would need to be modified likely, because you wouldn't need to, for environmental reasons, do sewer area C, because you are actually taking all of your nitrogen out of the watershed altogether in the outfall.
Right.
So, but A and B are still public health needs, which and the Board of Health has confirmed that those are still current and active needs areas, so we have gotten that confirmation from the Board of Health.
Thank you, Sarah. Now, do we need to have a motion?
I
and
would make a motion,
Thank
we
you.
accept the land use controls wastewater flow management regulation as modified.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
400. Okay, so we've done everything that's on that?
And we'll call it regulation.
Yes,
And no article identified, correct? Perfect.
we'll slide into articles when we have to.
Is
Thank
there
you,
a
Sarah.
second part of the agenda for me, or no?
No, you covered it.
Oh, good, okay.
You wanna
Thank
probably-
you.
well,
Thank you.
Yeah, because we've done that part of it, we've done that part of it. And now for the second half of this show.
Good afternoon.
Now we're getting the entertainment, now the entertainment has arrived.
Russ Kleekamp with EDR for the record. I do have a couple handouts. I just want to pass them around.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, there was two here.
Holy shit.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. Russ Kleekamp, engineer with EDR, here to give an update on the Force Main project. We were here roughly 3 weeks ago to hand out a project schedule and talk about the major milestones.
Excuse me, for the record, this is a Weston and Sampson Wareham, Mass. project status report. We have to identify what documents we looked at for the minute taker. Okay, thank you.
Understood. And yes, EDR is a subcontractor to Weston and Sampson on this project, so we'll be representing for the purposes of this meeting. But what I figured would be a good at our monthly update meetings was to basically give a report on the work that was completed through the previous period leading up to this, work that we anticipate covering over the next month, and then if we do foresee any types of hurdles, obstacles, things like that, bring them up to the board, sooner than later. So, question?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So just to run through, it's been 3 weeks since we seen you last. So the work completed since the last meeting was the project team was in receipt of the 25% comments from Mass DOT for the soil borings. So we did get the comments back from Mass DOT. So of course, as soon as you get comments from a regulatory agency, you want to start preparing the responses, which Weston and Sampson has put together the responses, and they will be submitting them back to Mass DOT in the next period coming up. But we're hopeful that once we respond to Mass DOT, they will allow the soil borings to move forward. And then we'll have to do a similar application to Mass DOT for the entirety of the pipeline. So this first permit is just for the soil borings and the subsurface investigations. So the second bullet, yes, was the preparation of the responses to the material to Mass DOT, addressing the 25% review comments that we received, ongoing efforts to complete the force main modeling for the flow and sizing, and that's looking at the different scenarios of which pump stations may or may not be tying into this force main, so that we can make sure we get the sizing correct. And then the design team from Weston and Sampson has begun the compilation of the front end and the technical specifications for the project. Any questions on the work over the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, can you give us some idea of what the comments were on the 25%?
Yeah, so they had, for example, you perform a soil boring, and if you see a drill rig machine has an auger that goes down, relatively small diameter, like a 6-inch diameter boring. So, for example, some of the comments are, what is your proposed backfill method for the soil borings? Which typically is put the spoils back in.
Yeah.
And trying not to smile, but DOT, there's been hundreds, if not thousands, of soil borings done in state roads. So it's a fairly straightforward process. Another comment was to provide plans of the soil borings with the Mass DOT layout showing. So they have stationing on their historic plans that identifies the stationing on all state highways. So we have to compile the historic plans, bring them into the drawing that has the soil borings, and align them to the stationing. And there was one other comment. I was speaking with John Potts on the way down, but it's along that type of line of comments. It's not impossible things to overcome. It's just more detail that we have to put in to Mass DOT for them to accept it.
Picky.
Well, just as a side thing, I mean, the historical thing is a good idea. You wouldn't want to do a boring in the same place a boring had done previously. If you're backfilling with the same material, it's all going to be jumbled up, right? So that makes sense.
Yep. Yep. So it's, they do have their comments. It was about a 6-page comment response form that is going back into them. So that's what they have just completed that, and that will be submitted between today and over the next week or so.
Thank you.
Good Thanksgiving, Sarah. Thank you.
So for the next, and I did make sure to look at this, you know, at last meeting, we had this schedule. This is the more broken out one. So we are still in line with the tasks identified in the schedule for where we are with the work. So the work anticipated between November 14th and December 11th is obviously we want to submit the comments into Mass DOT. If they accept them and improve them at that stage, they'll give the approval for the soil borings. If they do have additional feedback, we'll look to rapidly respond to that and get it submitted.
What type of time frame is there for feedback?
I don't know, with some state agencies, they say it's up to 30 days or something like that. I believe they have been responsive within a few weeks.
Okay.
But sometimes it's depending on what their workload is in the queue of what they have too. I don't know how many permit engineers they have at District 5, which oversees.
You also have Thanksgiving thrown in there, too.
We do. Yep.
Thank you.
Just out of curiosity, what type of soil samples would not be, and the spoils would not be allowed back into? What do you usually find that would be?
So with Route 6, I'm under suspicion that there was fill brought in to build that road, if you just look at it, how
Yeah.
it is with the neighboring. But if we come across things like inorganics, peat, something that is just not native, or it won't compact when you put it back in, we're looking for either a sand, gravel, a mixed aggregate that does not have organics mixed in.
Something that's a solid base versus,
Yeah. And I don't anticipate running into any unforeseen materials. If anything with boring, sometimes you hit refusal if there's like a rock or a boulder. But I believe we're only going down roughly 10 or 12 feet because the force main's only going to have probably 4 or 5 feet of cover over it. So it's not a tremendously deep utility. In some cases, you do get refusal. If you do, you just have to move 5 or 10 feet ahead and reattempt it.
What happens if you hit water?
We expect to. Typically, it's, and we'll mark that. So when they do the actual soil sampling, it's called a split spoon sample. It's 2 feet long, it's a cylinder, and they'll auger down, take the pavement off the top, they put the sampling spoon on, and then they have a hammer that's a fixed weight, and they drop it from a fixed height, and that's called the blow counts. So say, for example, it's really loose or weak material with 2 or 3 hammer falls, you're going to knock that 2-footer all the way through there. There's an opening on the bottom end. So you record that. Every 6 inches, you mark on the 2-foot sample, you put 6-inch marks. And depending on how many blow counts you get to get it 6 inches down, that's how a structural engineer would come up with his calculations for the bearing capacity of the soil. Say, for example, we're building a foundation for a water tank. We have to do a 50-foot deep boring, continuous sampling, and then those blow counts correlate into a structural stability. For the purposes of a pipeline, we're more interested to know where is groundwater and if there's any rock or boulder that we run into, because those two things can slow down the project during construction. And we want to be aware of that to make sure if we do encounter boulders or rock that we have a line item in the construction documents for rock removal. If you don't, that can be a very expensive change order. And then also if we have to install the main in areas of groundwater, that will typically slow down the process. Now again, with a 4 or 5 foot deep, we might be touching groundwater, but it's not like we're putting a 20-foot deep pipeline in and we have to set up well points and do a continual dewatering program for a deeper utility. So we are really focused on, yes, the soil characteristics, the type of material. Is it going to be suitable for backfill? Once we excavate, all that material out of the road, put the pipe in, under ideal conditions, we want to take that same material and put it back in the trench. fingers crossed with the state road, it was built with some level of oversight and guidance, and the materials shouldn't be too inadequate. But I do know once we start getting towards Marion, parts of Wareham, even on Falmouth, there is a lens of a lot of boulders. Everyone thinks Cape Cod is all sand, but if you go down Falmouth, down Woods Hole, ton of boulders down that way. There's some by Barnstable, and then as you start creeping towards Marion, that way you do run into a lot more boulders and ledge as well. So, and that's why we have to do them I think it's every 300 feet that we have to do these, and that's some of the critical information for the design. So one of two things will happen. If the borings get delayed for whatever reason, the design will still continue on. We'll have to make some assumptions during that design phase. And then once we get the results from the soil borings back, if they're what we believe them to be, is, okay, we expect water roughly 6 feet below grade, suitable material for backfill, the design can proceed as is. If we come across unsuitable materials or things like that, we'll have to make sure that the specifications outline, how much the quantities are there and what will have to be brought in during construction for suitable fill. So the design can still proceed if the soil borings are not done tomorrow, but we do need the soil borings completed definitely before this goes out to bid. And we typically attach the boring logs to the contract documents as an appendix, so the contractor knows when they're bidding it, are we going to run into water? Are we going to run into unsuitable ledge? Things like that. Over the next 2 weeks, we're still expecting to get the base maps of the topographic survey. That is something, we do need to get the topographic survey to advance the design. We can do a conceptual at 25% with GIS and LiDAR resources that are available to us online. But for the final design, we will have to have the detailed survey and topographic survey out there. Within the next 2 weeks, we want to finalize the force main modeling, get all that done. So we know it's going to be 14, 16, 18 inches. And then it goes to the alignment part of the design. So we have this long road. We know it's going to be 18 inches diameter. Where is the most optimal route for the force main, where we dodge other utilities? We try to keep the pipeline as straight as possible. So that's the actual design of the utility. And then the last bullet for the anticipated work coming up is continue work on the specifications and starting that layout and alignment. But there's a lot of background work that we have to do to get it to the point for design, and then once you get all that background, the design should hopefully be fairly straightforward. And according to the project schedule, we are looking to have that 90% by the end of December, and final bid documents. Schedule showing it at the end of the March, but I'll make sure to stay on the design team, and if we can accelerate that, we will.
Has JC Engineering completed the utility survey?
I've seen them out there quite a bit. I haven't asked them that direct question. Based on this, I'm expecting to get the completed results over the next 2 weeks. But we work with James on a lot of projects, and I can certainly reach out and ask that direct question.
Well, there's no rush before the next meeting, which is December, so.
Right, and I would like, that would be one of the things for the next meeting. I obviously want to come back and say, yep, we have completed base plans. If there's a delay for some reason, then we'll explain that at the next meeting.
Okay. So this is the first permit, is to get permission to do soil borings.
Yep. We actually have to go through local conservation and then the state, because again, anything on a state highway needs that second tier, that state permitting, but local conservation for the borings is no problem.
I don't know, they never came to us.
No, they never did.
I ran it through Josh over, so it is an administrative review, and it is part of the Wetland Protection Act for subsurface and exploratory. As long as it's within a paved road, it typically does not trigger an alteration of the resource area. I see
that's
2
interesting.
commission
That's
members.
surprising, because Josh is not the conservation agent, but okay. Christine Santos is.
I thought Josh was the conservation agent.
No,
Did he
he's-
used to be there?
He used to be, but he moved up to planner.
Planning.
He's been promoted twice since then.
Okay. I'll certainly run it by. I do not anticipate for soil borings.
It's difficult to sit here saying conservation when you have 2 conservation commissions sitting in front of you, and we didn't know any of this.
I apologize. When I emailed Josh, I was under the impression that he was running, but he did email back with an administrative
Okay.
review and an approval.
Just surprising.
Yeah, we don't like
He may
surprises, I'm
afford
sorry.
it to Christine, too.
Huh?
He may afford it to Christine, too.
I would have hoped so. I mean, if
Well, if so, then when she had a chance at the last meeting, which was last Wednesday, she could have said in her report, we had a request from the engineers to approve for borings and administrative review, blah, 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 then we would know. But that has nothing to do with you.
I can certainly share the email thread if anyone's interested.
Uh,
You will see when the pipeline design is done, that absolutely will
Oh,
go
yeah,
before
yeah.
conservation.
Question for you. Bryant Farm is right there on Sandwich Road, and it's going to have a curb cut, and we're going to put in a parking lot. Is there an impact, when you're going down, are you planning to go on the side of the road by the river, or the other side, or the drier side?
We want to look to see where the water main is first. We're going to go on
Okay,
the
all
opposite
right.
side of the road of the water main.
Okay.
Sometimes we put them right in the dead center of the road if we have
That's why we
separation.
bump every time, yeah, I know Main Street. You
Yeah.
can't get down Main Street without hitting a,
Well, we either want them in the center of the road or the center of the travel lane, so that your wheels go over them. What we try not to do is put them, a quarter of the way in and a quarter way out, in the wheel path of a given travel lane is what we try to avoid.
it failed on Main Street.
Sometimes you have other utilities in the way that there's no
Okay.
other option, and Main Street does have a lot going on underneath the asphalt.
Yes, I feel like I'm driving drunk, trying to avoid them.
Well, was that you, was it?
Yep, it's me.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure the judge will believe that one. So is that right next to the driving range? Is that the?
Yes,
Okay, good to know.
there are a couple stakes there
Okay.
where we're planning to put in ADA compliant access into the trails.
Questions for myself?
When's the soonest we can have a ribbon-cutting ceremony on this new,
You want a party?
12th.
So that ribbon cutting would come, we'll install the whole pipeline.
Yes.
So the existing will stay in use,
yeah,
build the whole new one. We'll pressure test it, make sure, that's our security, to make sure the pipe was put together well. We generally pressure test up to 150 or 200 PSI, far above the normal operating pressures. Once it passes the pressure test, you make your interconnection, then you open one valve and close the other valve, and maybe we put the ribbon between the two valves. And you clip it and then close one and open the other, and then all of it gets pushed up the new pipeline.
okay, do you have any,
That's a real ribbon ceremony.
that's it. As long as the ribbon doesn't go into the sewer system and get tangled up in the auger.
Might be like all the other towels that go in there.
It's,
So-
so when would that, your question is, when would that
Yeah,
happen?
the approximate date. Like-
So, we're looking to put this out, having the final documents. It does have to go to the Springtown meeting, which either April or May. If it passes that. and the
April.
April?
April.
April. Wouldn't do the work over the summer, just with
Traffic.
traffic and things like that. We do need, traffic management plan on the state road. It would be it's gonna be a noticeable operation out there when it's going in. I want to check with the design team, I'm tempted to say fall of '26, but also knowing the importance of this and the condition of the existing main, is we want to get it in the ground as soon as possible.
And when will we have an estimate
Of,
what this will cost? When we go to town meeting, we have to ask for a specific amount of money. We
Right.
have to rescind the 6 million since it can't be used for what it was approved for, and we need to put in an article for the new. So when will we have an idea of what it would cost so we can submit an article?
yeah, I think we did submit like an order of magnitude, the 13 million at a previous meeting, a few
Okay.
meetings ago. It's the intent that, when we present those costs at order of magnitude, that as the design gets further and further completed, we don't want that number to go up.
Yeah, so there are 3 phases though, right? There are 3 aspects to this project.
Three phases. The first phase is what we're talking, is just the pipeline from the connection point by the bridge to the treatment plant.
Yeah,
That gets put online, and that takes away the concerns of your active force main, if that breaks, if things like that. And then the other 2 phases follow after that. That would be a separate round of funding, because the first phase was I think the whole project was roughly 26 million.
I remember 24.6.
24 in that, I don't have it right in front of me, but yeah, 24 for the three phases. First phase is roughly 13. So then we'd have to put the design plans together for the second phase, get that out to bid, and then the third phase after that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of the town meeting that we want to present this as a three-phase, my opinion, a three-phase project. The first phase, it's the critical, most important emergency thing, $13 million, but we'll be coming back for the other two phases as well. So it's right out there.
How are we paying now for your services? What funds are we using to pay your bill? Jimmy, any idea?
It would have been the contract. So we're a sub to Weston, so that Weston.
I know, but I'm trying to think, when did we
Off the top
approve
of my head,
funding?
I'm not sure what we did on that, whether it was,
Third, 24.
When did we get money to pay for this work that's happening right now?
Was this coming out of just operating?
Yeah, I think
yeah,
it's
it's operating.
We had this discussion.
because we,
No,
yeah,
but I
this,
can't remember.
It was out of the operating budget, wasn't it?
right, because again, it's engineering services.
Do we have that type of fund?
Yeah, there would be a contract in there somewhere, but
I thought it was out of operating funds. I thought it was out of
what do they call it when a lawyer takes on a case for free? Pro bono.
pro bono, yeah. Oh, that's what he's doing. Russ is gonna do the rest of that. Right.
I don't think so.
All right.
Well, he's gonna begin doing that on the 12th.
Have you been getting paid?
Well, for the first 5 years when the sewer commission was together, when I attended every meeting, I was not getting paid. So there was a lot of pro bono before. For this one, yes, EDR has a contract with Weston and Sampson. I offered to them, just because the design team is from the North Shore, I said this is part of the reason why we teamed together, because Weston has a deep breadth of the design experience, but we have the local knowledge of the infrastructure. We're close by. I personally worked in town for over a decade, so I'm familiar with the departments and the people. So that's why the EDR was brought in for this.
Okay, so this is a subsidiary question, I'm sorry, but, so you're working under Weston and Sampson,
Correct.
and is JC under you, or are they under Weston and Sampson?
Weston
too?
and Sampson.
Okay, so
And
they're
then
parallel.
Weston will also have to hire a boring contractor who would be a third subcontractor. So it all,
Okay.
rather than sending you 4 different bills from 4 different consulting firms, just Weston and Sampson is the prime. And
Okay,
it goes to them.
so we don't have to pay you, Weston and Sampson's paying you. All right.
Well, you have to pay Weston and Sampson. That's the bad news. Good news is you don't have to pay me, so,
Directly.
directly.
Okay, that's good.
That's excellent.
Okay.
I will see you in 1 month.
December 11th, I think it
11th,
is?
yes.
Sir,
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Russ.
Thanksgiving.
appreciate it, Russ.
Well done.
Okay, there's the budget.
No, in the,
See, now you can go home for the day.
no, this is
Take
what
the
I
rest
look
of the
at.
day off.
That's the budget we approved.
That's what we approved. It's actually in the, in his,
Oh, it's,
his monthly disbursement.
Thanks, Russ.
We'll see you.
Russ, maybe we'll do another meeting on the deck.
Let me know maybe the next commission.
Good weather, though, not this. Yeah. You'll need one,
Have we finished
believe me.
Have we finished the agenda for the?
I
I
just
think
have,
we have Sandy on, what, on the agenda?
well, the review of the list of to-do, wasn't that covered by Carrie under
Yeah.
the regular meeting?
I think we need to wait till we have our meeting with
With Derek.
Derek, and then you're going to common denominator
Yep,
the items,
yeah.
and we'll take a
Yeah,
look at
so
them.
that's,
Under 48 hours, why are we paying water bills? Can't we use our own water?
What do you mean?
no,
This last bills, we paid $52,000 to the Wareham Water District. Don't we produce water?
No, not for some of the stuff that we do. But, I mean, we have
What's the
plant water
difference?
that, so there's potable water, which is provided by Wareham Water District, and then there's our plant water, which is used to just cool down the bearings on some of the pumps, use inside the plant, but if we need to wash stuff and it's gonna hit the ground, we have to use potable water.
As opposed to what we discharge.
Correct, it has to, anytime any drop of water that enters our wastewater plant doesn't make it to the river, it's technically a sanitary sewer overflow, no matter the level of treatment. So our plant water cannot be used for washing cars in the parking lot. You know, certain things like that, so we have to use potable water. So every building
Just-
at the plant, it has potable
I'm
water.
absolutely taken back by $52,000. This must be a quarterly payment.
Yes, some of this was higher than normal because they have been using the potable water for some of the work with the cement work. So again, anything that doesn't make it to the river is a sanitary sewer overflow and technically would have to be reported to the EPA and DEP. So we want to avoid that at all
Yes, you do.
costs.
See that? Okay. It's interesting.
But you can imagine what mixing it with cement would do to any pathogens that are in that water.
Yeah,
Make them grow like a son of a gun.
No. Although there are bacteria that will degrade concrete. There was a whole university in England built out of concrete, and they're essentially infected with bacteria that degrade concrete. So
It's crumbling, is that a
it's
word?
crumbling because it's being eaten by these bacteria.
There's a major problem down on the Keys. All the concrete was mixed with salt water, therefore all the rebars are rusting inside of all the homes. So,
Yep.
okay,
That's, so that water bill will go down when the
construction's done.
construction's done. Okay.
Yeah, normally, there's been actually multiple flow meters that have been removed from certain buildings because we get a minimum bill for like 13 years. There's been no water used, so they were kind enough to come and remove those meters so we don't get billed for it anymore. But some of the back charges over at that time with just to the blanket fee to monitor the meter over the course of the time that it had no flow was somewhere around $6,000, so I had them remove it,
Wow.
so.
Brotherly love within the community.
wow.
No, they were good enough to point it out
Well,
to
yeah,
us, and we had a great meeting this morning, actually, with municipal maintenance and both water departments regarding teaming up on some of the projects that have to go in around town, so we don't open a road twice, or do work twice.
Good.
So it was very productive, and I was very glad for the meeting.
How's the composting experiment going?
Phenomenal.
What was that last, how much did we save? Was it $3,000 in 1 month? And
20,
Oh,
20
no, it's been over $25,000 a month. We're up around, we've already cut out around $50,000 worth of expense, and it'll go up and up and up. We're just getting better at it.
Pay for the water.
Huh?
Pay for the water, what you save in trucking.
That's right, exactly. That's the only reason we're doing it, really.
we don't need to do anything on the remote, the bill summary, right? We're all set with that? It's an FYI, right?
But
The FYI for this?
Yeah.
okay? Will do, definitely. Let me call you back, I'm in the middle of a meeting. Back.
You wanna share with all of us, Ruth?
James, do you have something to share with the class?
Yes, Danny was here. I was just checking on the Swiss Beach project.
Have we finished the agenda then for the?
Yes, we have, we're just waiting for one person to make their announcement.
I make a motion, we adjourn the November 13th workshop at 4:30.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.